All right, let's talk about the secret lives of Linux processes. You've probably heard these strange terms thrown around: orphan, zombie, and daemon. Sounds a little dramatic, right? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and figure out what's really going on under the hood of your system. So, have you ever been staring at your terminal, checking your running processes, and you see something labeled a zombie? It sounds pretty weird, maybe even a little alarming, but what's the deal with that? To really get these special cases, we first have to do a super quick review of what a normal process even is. At its heart, it's really simple. A process is just a program that's, well, running. When you launch an app, open a terminal, or your system just does its thing in the background, you're kicking off a process. Easy enough, right? So, in a perfect world, everything follows a simple, neat life cycle. You've got a parent process, and it creates a child process to go do a job. It uses something called the fork syscall for that. Once the child is all done, it exits. But here's the most important part: the parent has one last job to do. It has to call wait. Think of it like the parent saying, "Okay, I see you're done. Good job." This call is absolutely crucial because it officially cleans up the child's entry from the system's process table. That final cleanup step? Yeah, that's the key to everything we're about to discuss. This image right here really helps it all click. See, your processes aren't just in some random list. They form a hierarchy, a big family tree. And way up at the top, at the very root, is the first process the system ever starts, the one with process ID 1. We usually call it init, or systemd. It's basically the great-great-grandparent of every other process. But what happens when a branch on that tree breaks? Well, that brings us to our first special case. Think of this one as an adoption story. This is the orphan process. An orphan process is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a child process, chugging along, doing its work, but its parent has suddenly vanished. Maybe it crashed or just finished early. Now that child process is all on its own. But don't worry, the system has this built-in safety net. That super important init process, PID1, steps in and basically says, "I'll take care of you." It adopts any orphan process, becoming its new parent. This makes sure the orphan can finish its job and get cleaned up properly when it's done. So, orphans, usually not a big deal. Now we get to the really weird one, the zombie process. This isn't about the parent disappearing, it's about a parent that's just not paying attention. Okay, so a zombie is a child process that's already finished. It's done its work, it's exited, it's dead. But its parent, which is still running, totally forgot to make that super important wait call we talked about. So the child's record just sits there in the process table like a ghost. I love this quote because it just perfectly captures how strange this is. The process isn't using any CPU. It's not actually running. But it's not totally gone either because its entry is still clogging up the process table. Now, a few of these are totally harmless. But if a buggy parent process creates a whole army of them, you could, in a really extreme case, run out of space in the process table, and then your system can't start any new processes. And spotting them is super easy. If you run a command like ps or top, you'll see a big Z right there in the status column. It's a dead giveaway, no pun intended. And here's the part that trips everyone up. You can't kill a zombie. I mean, think about it. It's already dead. Sending it a kill signal does absolutely nothing. The only way to clean up a zombie is to go after its parent. You either have to fix the parent's code so it does its job, or sometimes you just have to terminate the parent process itself. Okay, finally, let's talk about our third type. And this one isn't a mistake or a problem at all. In fact, daemons are a planned, essential part of a healthy system. You could almost think of a daemon as an intentional orphan. It's a process that is specifically designed to run in the background, completely disconnected from your terminal, providing some kind of core service for the whole system. I guarantee you've seen these guys around. The service that lets you SSH into your machine, that's SSHD, a daemon. The main system manager, systemd, yep, that's a daemon too. And you'll notice a little pattern here. A lot of their names end with the letter D. All right, time to put it all together. Let's look at these three side by side, because that's where the differences really become crystal clear. This table breaks it all down perfectly. Look at the orphan. Its parent is gone, terminated, but the process itself is still running. Now the zombie. Its parent is still running, but the process state is defunct, or Z. It's just waiting to be cleaned up. And finally, the daemon. It's also running, but it was intentionally detached from its parent to go provide a service. See? Totally different situations. So how can you actually see all this stuff happening on your own machine? Well, let's look at a couple of really handy commands. The PS command with the dash forest flag is just fantastic for this. It actually draws out a little tree with text showing you exactly who's the parent of who. It's so helpful when you're trying to hunt down the parent of some pesky zombie process. And of course, there's TOP. It's your live, real-time dashboard for everything happening on your system. And right up at the top of the screen, it gives you a little summary of all your processes, and it'll even tell you if you have any zombies hanging around. So let's just nail this down one last time. An orphan is a running process whose parent is gone, no big deal, a NIT adopts it. A zombie is a dead process whose parent is being lazy and hasn't cleaned it up. And a daemon is a process that's supposed to be running on its own in the background doing a job. And hey, if there's only one thing you remember from all this, make it this. Don't be afraid of zombies. A couple of them are fine. But if you see a whole bunch, don't waste your time trying to kill the zombie itself. Find its parent and figure out why that parent isn't doing its job. And there you have it. You now have the knowledge to decode the weird and wonderful world of your system's process table. So go on, pop open a terminal and see what you can find.